Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. I'm okay. It's just a little odd. Yesterday I had two bloody noses, one in the morning and one last night. And this morning I had another one. And like I said, I haven't had them in well over 10 years. And before that, not really since my childhood. And so I don't know. I just think it's kind of strange. And I didn't do anything, like I didn't bump it, I didn't blow it too hard. It's just like, I don't know. But some weird things that are going on that I noticed with several of my friends. I have friends that are I mean, it's pretty common anyway. I've met a lot of like epileptic people or people that have seizures and that type of stuff through my life, but not so many, even relatives of mine with neurological problems and having three animals in 1 year last year all die with developing seizures and breathing problems and heart rate problems and that type of thing. It's just the weird stuff that's going on. Um, could it be the sun and the EMPs, or is it something that they're doing, or is all of the above, is what I believe plays a part in it, is what I'm thinking that yeah, they are doing something to us because it yeah, I have allergies. Admittedly, I have allergies that affect my sinuses. I have chronic sinusitis from my allergies. So yeah, but to go from not bleeding at all and really not feeling any allergy symptoms aside from uh swelling of my intestines or something, like from something I've ate that I wasn't supposed to eat, or and we all go through things like that anyway, or being allergic to paper or plastic or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure it accumulates all the things, metal, that I'm allergic to. Scents, like if somebody comes in, maybe that was it. I had a friend come in and she had perfume on and it smelled good, but it could have been like there's this ice Isabel something it's called, and it's literally made you've probably heard of it from the beaver's scent gland by their rectum, and they use it in like chocolates and perfumes and different things like that. Well, thank you, Lord. I'm allergic to that stuff. Um, so just so many weird things going on in the world right now. So I was watching Bruce Seasall live stream, and um, his moon photography telescope, if you haven't watched it, is really, really good. He just put out a song. I haven't listened to all his music. I'd like to take some time and do that someday, but I try to catch ones here and there, or if they're new ones. And I was subscribed to his regular channel and his French channel, and then he has a Spanish channel too. But didn't even have a clue because I didn't go onto his page for any reason, that he had a music channel. So he's got like songs from a long time ago that I haven't even heard yet that I'll have to take a listen to someday. But there's a lot of people's channels I want to try and visit. It's um almost next to impossible. So um I have a question. John Quentin the Third, are you the same John that is Sky Watcher something or another. Are you the same person? I just wondered because it seemed like maybe you were. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. I just was curious. So, because he also was having troubles, like he has an aneurysm in his head, and he didn't even think he'd like make it through. It was about like, oh, Robin's Hood mentioned that he was gone for like 22 days and asked where he went because he said he was like probably gonna die, and then didn't get back on the internet to let anybody know if he was okay or not. So Robin had mentioned that, and I guess the guy got a hold of him and told him he was all right and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't really listen to the guy. I tried, but he speaks a lot like my ex used to speak, and other men I know in my life that are a bit crass. I mean, I swear, yeah, but I don't try to make it as filthy as I could possibly make it that type. So I kind of distance myself for that reason. That brings to mind something that I went through this morning. I know men that have hit women and children, and I passed around a post that said, anytime you hit a woman now, and keep in mind, this was not for me out of anything I've been through. This is for a little family that's struggling, and men that had a poor example as a father. And I had put on top of, and it said, anytime a man hits a woman, he is no longer a man. And I wrote on top, or a child, that type. Well, I had one of my friends on Facebook, just a minute, get a hold of me and say, well, if like the woman backs you in the corner, or, oh, because I had wrote, even my cat walks away. you know, I say walk away, or maybe not so much with this new little one. She's sort of a monster, but oh, she listens pretty good though. A lot better than any crazy man or woman. But I told the dude, and he was, saying what he had been through, and I can relate. I don't know if he ever had any of his bones broken or saw his children being mutilated by somebody, but I told him, like, he sort of hijacked my post and made it about him. And the intention was to help younger people, not to make it about myself, you know. And I guess that's what. Yeah, I know his heart is sad, and he's had like a separation from his family, and still loves his ex, and whatever, and I wish him the best like that. But I just wish that he hadn't taken away from what I was trying to say of raising a man a little higher to lift women and children up, like was their position meant from God, to making it all about himself. If he could have thought about the younger generation before he thought about himself on the post that I was putting out, so my sons could see it and hopefully glean something out of it. Now, when they read it and they see this guy, how he was attacked by his wife into a corner, and he had to strike out because she was crazy with knives. And yeah, I get it, but it still took away from how I was trying to help somebody besides myself. And it didn't help him at all. It just spurred on his bad feelings that he has from the things that he's been through. So it did hijack my post. It totally took away from the meaning of what I was trying to help young men in this world. Took away from that. So that was a bummer. It's like, damn. Then, really, no matter what I said after that on that post isn't really going to make a difference, because if a man is going to take the position that he couldn't just walk away and he had to reach out and smack a woman because of any reason, took totally away from what's the reality in God's world, not Satan's world. Satan wants you to believe that it's okay to reach out and smack anybody for any reason. So, and yes, I've been in a corner and I've had to fight against people. I had a gun in my mouth, not a knife, not somebody coming at me with a knife, a gun in my mouth from somebody else. So, and I prayed. I mean, sure, I could have fought. That's a bit dangerous, but yeah, I've been in some really dangerous situations. But yeah, so I was a little bit put off with this person. It's like he's been even kind of suicidal, and I've taken time to talk to him, and it's like, yeah, I can relate. But most of these people, and I'm going to say it like it is, they had moms and dads that actually cared about them on some level. If you have at least one person that's your blood when you're young that really cared about you, you had a head start on me, so stop your damn whining. No, I'm just kidding on. And I really kind of am kidding on that note. Um, because I care about everybody, and I care if your parent was cruel to you or your child is, or whoever, whatever. Yes, I really do care. So, but yeah, it was a bummer. Freaking hijacked that. So, yeah. Hopefully, the people that it was intended for will get the value out of it that I meant. Like, just stop it in your generation so it doesn't go on to the next, because I swear, if I have like great grandchildren that are um, beating up women or whatever, it's like, God, just kill them all, take them all out. I don't care, even if it meant the end of me, to end the evil on the world, I would do that. What else? I mean, really. I mean, yeah, I have friends that would probably miss me, but if somebody, and I'm not a sacrifice, and I don't intend to be one, but maybe a part of my soul already did that. It's like it's time for it to end, is what I'm trying to say. There is no excuse for anybody putting their hands on anybody. You know, it just no reason for it. And if anybody had a reason, I've had reasons, especially this last week. So, yeah. I didn't think about getting a knife though. That's what I told him too, you're talking to the wrong person. I've always been a faithful woman and a good one, so you're like talking to the wrong. Really, really took what I was trying to say out of context and made it about himself. How do you that'd be like if he sent around a post that any woman that comes at her husband with a knife is not a woman. That'd be like me going over there and making excuses why I did it, you know, and hijacking his post and saying, well, I came at him with a knife because he was like a worthless piece of whatever. And then he'd come back and say, but this post wasn't about you. It was for my daughters that are like hurting their husbands. And it'd be like, oh, okay. But he didn't look at it like that. It's like a person that's almost in the position, like my sons are, to almost be grandparents. Some of my grandchildren are getting old enough to make me a grandmother. Makes my mind and my heart want to reach out to the gentlemen, or hoping that they're gentlemen that are 40 and 50 years old, or um, late 30s, 40s, whatever. Like, stop it now in your generation so it doesn't go into the next one, is my point. So, my kids have no clue. If I had treated them how I was raised, they would not be alive. Because I really highly doubt they would have made it through some of the situations that I was in. So, and that's a fact. They could debate that all day long, and God would still tell them they were wrong, because I kept them safe like that. The worst situations my kids were in after I got them out of the worst one was ones that they put themselves in, so, in all reality. So, I'm not saying that Doug was the best choice to have around my children, because even though he seemed quiet or even passive in a lot of ways, he probably did a lot more damage than I was aware of at the time, just with his words or ignorance, as far as ignoring their their needs as a boy, and what a man should say or do around a boy. So, but still, not as outwardly filthy as what they came from, but inwardly just as bad, but not thinking that he is, So, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to bunches of stuff that I'm talking about. So, well, we have sunshine today, and it's a little windy. It's probably, they said, going to be about 50 degrees or something, so that's nice. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, how disappointing. I mean, really, I gotta think too. This guy is really super bummed out. The one I'm talking about, that hijacked my post, and I do realize that. But people, if they don't think twice before. I think twice. I really do. Before I write or say something, that's why I'll hesitate and give it a moment. Not always, but most of the time, I really do give deep thought into what I'm going to say or do, because it does affect people. Everything does, you know. So, what does everybody think about the moon? Do you think it is? I always get like an ominous or like a foreboding type feeling when I look at it. Almost kind of melancholy too, like I came from there, but it doesn't belong to me anymore, or it belongs to me and we don't belong on the earth. Something weird about the whole thing. And um Bruce sees all thinks that it could be like prison camps on the moon. I wouldn't doubt it. I really would not doubt it. I kind of think Satan tricked angels to come down here to help humanity, that he had kidnapped and put here, but God used it to clean out the bad blood and leave them here because they can't return. And they thought by bringing us here, they would find a way through our bloodline to raise their spirits again, to be able to break the barrier to go back home, which is heaven, that they can't do, that we'll be able to do. That's just a thought, you know. Happy Friday, by the way, or Saturday, wherever you're at. 28 days on my exercising diligently. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, it was hard to get started again, and I had spent decades of almost exercising every day. If I couldn't work out, I didn't feel good, and I had to actually put it to 3 days a week because I was so busy. But I'd still do it. But then when I got sick, everything just fell apart. It was like, wow. I didn't think I'd ever get back in the mood to exercise again. But it did start getting a little easier a few days ago. Now it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not hurting like I was. Um, the last couple days now have been pretty much a breeze, so which is good. Once you reach that point, and then it no longer hurts, it makes it easier to do it, you know. And I was doing leg exercises and um, incorporated now sit ups and different things. So weight bearing exercises and different stuff. So yeah, I kind of got Doug moving bigger stuff around by himself. Like yesterday, he brought home a lazy boy, and he had been such a turd to me the day before, or a couple days before that. I usually run out and open the door and wait for him to back up to the porch and all that stuff. And I thought, now when he was a young man and I was young, and I would bring in couches and beds and all that by myself, it's like, oh no, I'm not helping him. Nope, because I'll move appliances and different things all by myself. I always have, so it's like, yeah, you can handle that chair. And I wondered if he'd get crabby about it. He kind of was, but he didn't really say much aside from a couple grunts that were disgruntled. But yeah, I thought it was funny. Excuse me. So yeah. They say payback's a bitch. Well, it wasn't even a bitch, but it was funny. you know. Anyway, because really, I'm talking about the type of person that would watch me move something like that all by myself and not think, even think. Just look at me and watch me do it and not even think that maybe that woman's bleeding today, or maybe she needs some help, or I never got none of those thoughts like that. It's like, yeah. Or I'll see these women, help, 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 help. I need help, or messages on our community page. And I mean, I don't blame them, kinda. But it's like, oh, I have this heavy thing. Any help, please? And I'm thinking, yeah, help yourself. Try doing it yourself. I had a friend that had Doug and her brother were outside of their farmhouse, and she had brought out a little chest of drawers, and and she's taller than me, and she was like struggling with it, and she was getting mad at the guys because they wouldn't help her and stuff. Well, I kind of had to chuckle at that because it's like, boy, was she looking at the wrong guys for help in that relationship. Doug and her brother and their friends. It's like, oh, sorry, D. Man. Now you know what it's like not to have that. And she's got um big sons that are close to her and help her in that type of thing. Oh, and her husband was there too. That's right. There was three of them, and none of them would help her. Well, I know what that's like. I always have. So I had to kind of chuckle, and it still sort of makes me laugh. But in that respect. But if I had been there, I would have been the one helping her, and then I would have went over to the guys and say, well, I'm not making supper, so have fun. You know, if you got to work like a man, you don't act like a woman. Not like that at all. I mean, if I cook something, fine. But if I don't, I don't. you know. So it sounds like I cook a lot and all that, but not as much as I used to. Shit, I used to do things like make quilts and sew and knit and make custom made caps, skull caps, and that type of thing, and all kinds of stuff. Indian beadwork, and I mean, I was always busy doing something. I'd sit there and talk to people while I was knitting or whatever, keeping busy. But yeah, like I say, not like I used to, and that's good anyway. I have other things I'm looking forward to doing this summer, so even if it's by myself, I'm gonna try and do things I love to do, like hiking and swimming or whatever. I wanted to swim last year and didn't really get a chance to, so I might this year. Excuse me a minute here. Oh, yeah. But yeah. So we did get two electric bug lights because the bugs were so bad. We had one, we usually always have them around, but it had gone out last year, and and the fleas were just bad around here. We could not find any flea powder for the animals. Natural stuff, yeah. And I'm allergic to essential oils, so like with citronella in there and citrus and all the stuff I'm allergic to, it's not really something I want to put on somebody that's laying all over my furniture and all that. And I don't really want the chemical stuff on them either. So hopefully these bug lights, we've got two of them now, will. But the weird thing is, I've got a couple of little moths flying around, and I haven't seen them, but I don't know if they went in the zapper. I haven't heard that, and they've been up for 2 days, whether it has killed the bug or not. So I'll have to look into the bug tray underneath. It's ones that you have to unscrew the tray to look into it and empty it. It's like, yeah, I'll do that one of these days, maybe. But I don't know. I can't tell if it's actually killing anything or not. Maybe when there's more bugs out, I'll be able to notice the difference. So, yeah. I mean, I got flea collars and stuff, and the ones in the house, the cat should be okay now this year. And then, too, I don't have my dog anymore running in and out, bringing fleas in and out, so that's should help with that. But yeah, she died having a seizure. So did my cat. So did my horse. I have a friend that went to a neurological doctor this morning. She's going to let me know if the meeting went well, and I hope she's going to be okay. I hope it's nothing to do. Well, I hope it's nothing serious. Period. But I hope it's nothing to do with these electrical pulses and stuff that I really think is affecting things, and I don't know. We'll see how the plants and the trees and the birds and all that type of thing do this year, if we think that they're actually being affected or why they are, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. Crazy times we live in. Well, everybody, thank you for joining me. I'm going to get this uploaded, and I wish everybody the best. Uh, people people are so nuts. You can try and help them, and it is one big giant game. How do you prove it though? How do you prove somebody's actually acting like a jerk and everybody can see it, but you just can't prove it? It's like, that this crap's just got to end. It's so sickening. So, God bless everybody and your weekend and this week to come. And I hope this summer or whatever part of the world you live in, you're would be, I think, going into the fall on the other side of the world. Um, I hope your change of season is a pleasant one. How's that? So it's the time of the season for loving. Do you know that song? It's what's your name? Who's your daddy? Beware, is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what you need to feel? Tell it to me slowly, tell you why you really ought to know. It's a time of the season for loving. I'll leave it on that. Later.